Something inside you knows. You feel it in the quiet moments between thoughts, a pull, a whisper, an ancient knowing that refuses to stay silent anymore. What if everything you've been taught about reality is just the surface layer? What if beneath the noise, beneath the routines, beneath the masks we all wear, there exists a frequency so pure, so powerful, that touching it would change everything? You're here because that frequency is calling you. Not tomorrow, not someday, right now. The universe operates on rhythms most people never perceive. While millions move through life on autopilot, repeating patterns inherited from generations past, a select few begin to sense something different. They start noticing cracks in consensus reality, moments where time feels elastic, instances where thoughts materialize faster than logic allows, encounters that feel orchestrated by invisible intelligence. If that describes you, keep listening. What you're experiencing isn't randomness, it's awakening. Think about water for a moment. Pour it into a container and it assumes that shape. Change the container, the water transforms instantly. No resistance, no struggle, pure adaptation. Your consciousness works the same way. Most people believe they're stuck in one rigid container called my life. But consciousness is fluid, limitless, capable of assuming infinite forms across infinite realities. The question isn't whether you can shift into a higher expression of yourself. The question is whether you're ready to stop defending the container you've outgrown. Right now, across the planet, a wave is building. Not a physical wave, an energetic one. Millions of souls are simultaneously waking up to their multidimensional nature. They're discovering that the three-dimensional game has rules that can be transcended. They're learning that reality responds to frequency, not force. And they're beginning to remember skills that conventional education never taught them. You know what I'm talking about. Those moments when you think of someone and they immediately message you. Those instances when you need specific information and it appears through coincidence. Those experiences where your emotional state seems to shape the events around you in ways that defy explanation. These aren't accidents. They're glimpses of your natural operating system coming back online. For too long, we've been taught that we're powerless observers in a random universe, that life happens to us, that circumstances control our experience, that we must accept whatever reality presents. This teaching serves a specific purpose. It keeps consciousness constrained, manageable, predictable. But what happens when consciousness refuses to stay small? Everything you've struggled with, every challenge that seemed designed to break you, every moment of isolation that made you question your sanity, all of it was preparation, not punishment, preparation. You weren't being broken down, you were being broken open. The shell that contained your limited self-concept had to crack before the expanded version could emerge. Consider the caterpillar. Inside the cocoon, it doesn't simply grow wings and fly away. It completely dissolves. Its entire structure liquefies. Every cell breaks down into primordial essence. Only then can it reorganize into something that defies its previous existence. The butterfly doesn't improve the caterpillar. It transcends it entirely. That's what's happening to you. Total metamorphosis. The old frameworks that defined your identity are dissolving. Career paths that once felt meaningful now feel hollow. Relationships that provided comfort now create friction. Belief systems that offered certainty now seem absurdly limiting. This isn't depression. This is demolition, clearing space for a structure so magnificent that it requires a completely new foundation. Your soul orchestrated this perfectly. Before you entered this body, before you took your first breath in this dimension, you understood exactly what this journey would require. You saw the challenges waiting in the density of physical reality. You knew there would be moments of profound forgetting, periods where you'd lose touch with your eternal nature, phases where you'd question everything, and you volunteered anyway. Why would an infinite being choose to forget itself? Why would consciousness deliberately enter limitation? Because evolution requires experience. Growth demands contrast. Mastery necessitates challenge. You can't become a guide for others through awakening unless you've walked through the darkness yourself. Every master began as a student. Every teacher was once confused. Every being of light once wandered in shadow. Your struggles weren't signs of failure. They were marks of initiation. Now the initiation reaches its culmination. The tests that once seemed endless are revealing their purpose. The confusion that dominated your experience is crystallizing into clarity. The isolation that felt unbearable is transforming into sovereignty. You're not becoming someone new. You're remembering who you've always been beneath the programming. What does it mean to operate from higher frequency? Imagine radio stations broadcasting simultaneously through the same space. Each station transmits different content, different energy, different information. Most people remain tuned to one station their entire lives, never realizing other frequencies exist. They inherit their station from family, culture, education. They assume everyone hears the same broadcast. But you've started turning the dial. At first accidentally, then deliberately. You've discovered that reality isn't singular, it's symphonic. Multiple versions, multiple timelines, multiple expressions, all existing simultaneously, and your awareness determines which version you experience. This is where everything changes. Once you realize you're not stuck on one station, one timeline, one version of reality, the entire game transforms. You're no longer a victim of circumstances, you're a selector of frequencies, and every frequency you tune into brings a completely different experiential reality. Fear broadcasts on a specific frequency, so does love. Lack operates on one channel, abundance on another. Separation transmits constantly, so does unity. Most people experience random static because they never learn to consciously select their frequency. They react to external triggers, allowing their environment to determine their internal state. You're learning a different way. Internal state determines external experience. Frequency precedes form. Consciousness shapes matter. When you stabilize a specific vibration internally, reality reorganizes externally to match it, not through magic, through mechanics, quantum mechanics. The field of infinite potential that physicists describe isn't theoretical, it's the responsive substrate of existence itself. It contains every possible version of every possible reality. Your focused attention and emotional frequency act as selection mechanisms. They collapse potential into actuality. They draw specific timelines into manifestation while leaving others dormant. Think about that. You're not trying to change reality. You're selecting which reality to experience from the infinite versions already existing in potential. Every choice you make, every emotion you sustain, every belief you hold generates a selection. Most people make unconscious selections based on conditioning. You're learning to select consciously based on alignment. This requires radical responsibility. You can't blame circumstances anymore. You can't hide behind victimhood. You can't pretend external forces control your experience. Once you understand you're the selector, everything becomes your creation, even the things you don't like. Especially those things. They exist to show you which frequency you've been unconsciously broadcasting. They're mirrors, feedback mechanisms, the universe showing you what you're emanating so you can adjust if you choose. Does this feel heavy? It shouldn't. This is liberation. When you realize you've been creating your experience all along, you simultaneously realize you can create something different right now. Not through years of therapy, not through decades of meditation, through frequency adjustment, through conscious selection, through choosing a different internal state and maintaining it regardless of external conditions. Most spiritual teachings complicate this. They add layers of rules, requirements, rituals. They make enlightenment seem distant, difficult, reserved for special people with special gifts. But the truth is breathtakingly simple. You already are what you're seeking. You've just been tuned to the wrong frequency. Tuning into your natural frequency doesn't require adding anything. It requires releasing everything false, every should, every must, every expectation inherited from sources outside yourself, every belief that makes you smaller than you are, every story about limitation that you accepted as truth. Beneath all that accumulated programming, your authentic frequency waits, pure, powerful, undistorted by consensus reality. When you access it, even briefly, everything shifts. Problems that seemed permanent suddenly resolve. People who drained you naturally drift away. Opportunities that seemed impossible begin appearing, not because you manipulated reality, because you stopped resisting your natural flow. You are frequency itself. made of light, composed of vibration, expressing consciousness through temporary physical form. The body is a vehicle, the personality is a character, but you, the awareness animating both, you are eternal, infinite, unlimited by the rules that govern matter. When you operate from this understanding, limitations dissolve, not all at once, gradually, layer by layer. Each limiting belief that falls away expands your field of possibility. Each fear you transcend increases your creative power. Each moment you choose love over reaction, you stabilize a higher frequency. This isn't about perfection, it's about direction. Are you moving toward expansion or contraction? Toward love or fear? Toward your authentic nature or away from it? Every micro-choice throughout your day creates momentum in one direction or the other. The beings guiding humanity's evolution, the advanced consciousnesses some call Arcturians, others call angels, others call higher self. They're not separate from you. They're future versions of collective consciousness. They exist in dimensions where fear and separation have been transcended, where unity and love form the foundation of experience. They've been where you are. They've walked the path you're walking, and they're reaching back through time and space to remind you that you make it. You succeed. The struggle ends. The remembering completes. You come home to yourself. Their guidance isn't meant to make you dependent. It's designed to activate your own inner knowing. Every transmission of wisdom serves to turn your attention inward, toward your own direct connection to Source. They don't want followers, they want equals, sovereign beings who consciously create from their own divine authority. That's what you're becoming, not a better version of your small self, a completely different order of being. One who operates from frequency mastery instead of circumstantial reaction. One who shapes reality from the inside out instead of being shaped by it. One who remembers their infinite nature while temporarily wearing finite form. The journey from unconscious to conscious creation follows predictable stages. Understanding these stages helps you navigate them with grace instead of resistance. It transforms confusion into clarity, struggle into flow, fear into trust. Let's talk about what happens when everything you thought was solid starts to shimmer. When the life you built so carefully begins to feel like a costume that no longer fits. This is where most people panic. They try to hold everything together, force the old patterns to keep working, convince themselves nothing is changing. You can't do that anymore. Something fundamental has shifted in your awareness, and there's no going back. Only forward, only through. The first wave of awakening feels like dissolution. Structures crumble, certainties evaporate. The personality you've been maintaining requires so much energy that you can barely sustain it. Your job might suddenly feel meaningless, even if it once provided purpose. Your relationships might feel strained, even if they were once comfortable. Your daily routines might feel like you're moving through thick fog, disconnected from any genuine motivation. This is not breakdown. This is breakthrough preparing itself. The old identity container is too small for what you're becoming. It has to crack. Fighting this process only prolongs the discomfort. Surrendering to it allows grace to guide the transformation. During this phase, you might experience what seems like identity crisis. Who am I without my roles, without my accomplishments, without the story I've been telling about myself? These questions feel terrifying to the personality, but to the soul, they signal readiness. When you no longer know who you are, you create space to remember what you are. Pure consciousness temporarily exploring human form, not defined by any label, not limited by any history, not confined to any single expression, free to reinvent itself completely in every moment. Most people spend their entire lives defending an identity they constructed in childhood, protecting a self-image built from external validation, maintaining a persona that earns approval. This requires constant vigilance, exhausting effort, continuous performance, and it disconnects you from your authentic essence. The dissolution phase removes all that, strips away every false layer, burns through every mask. It's uncomfortable because you've invested decades building those protective structures. But it's necessary because those same structures block your access to higher frequencies. You can't carry outdated programming into elevated consciousness. The frequencies don't match. It's like trying to run advanced software on primitive hardware. The system crashes. So the consciousness upgrade requires a complete overhaul of your identity operating system. What emerges on the other side? Something you can't conceptualize from inside the dissolution. Something so free, so authentic, so powerful that your current self can't imagine it. The caterpillar can't conceive of flight. It simply dissolves and trusts the process encoded in its DNA. You're doing the same. Trusting a metamorphosis your mind can't map. As the old structures fall away, something else emerges. Perception expands. You start noticing things you couldn't see before, patterns beneath surface reality, connections between seemingly unrelated events, energy moving through situations and people, the invisible architecture that organizes visible experience. Your dreams become more vivid, more meaningful, less random processing, and more direct communication from your deeper intelligence. You receive guidance through symbols, scenarios, interactions that feel more real than waking life. Sometimes you remember them with crystal clarity, other times just a feeling lingers, a knowing, a direction. Your intuition amplifies. That quiet inner voice becomes unmistakable, loud, clear, directive. You know things without knowing how you know. Information arrives fully formed. Understanding dawns without logical progression. You bypass the rational mind and access direct knowing. This terrifies the ego. The personality structure built on logic and reason suddenly realizes it's not in charge. Another intelligence, deeper and wiser, is emerging, taking the lead, making decisions that don't require the mind's approval. This feels like losing control. Actually, it's gaining alignment, shifting from ego-driven to soul-guided living. With expanded perception comes responsibility. You can no longer pretend you don't see, don't know, don't sense the truth beneath people's words. You become sensitive to energy in ways that can feel overwhelming. Walking into certain spaces drains you instantly. Being around certain people exhausts you. Consuming certain content disturbs your frequency for hours. This isn't weakness, it's refinement. You're becoming a precision instrument, highly calibrated to frequency, able to detect subtle variations in energetic quality. This sensitivity is a gift, though it requires learning new boundaries, new protocols for protecting your field while remaining open and present. Many awakening souls struggle here. They confuse spiritual openness with having no boundaries. They think loving everyone means accepting everyone's energy into their space. They believe being compassionate requires tolerating toxic dynamics. This is misunderstanding. True spiritual maturity includes fierce protection of your frequency, discernment about where you direct your energy, wisdom about which battles deserve your attention. You are not obligated to fix everyone, save everyone, tolerate everyone. Your primary responsibility is maintaining your own frequency at the highest sustainable level. From that elevated state, you naturally uplift others simply through your presence. But if you lower your frequency to meet people where they are, you help no one. You just add another person to the lower frequency. Stay high. Let others rise to meet you there, or not. Their journey is not your responsibility, your frequency is. As perception expands, time starts behaving strangely. Have you noticed this? Hours pass like minutes during flow states. Minutes feel like hours during resistance. Certain days seem to contain more experiences than should be possible. Other days vanish without memorable moments. Time isn't the fixed linear progression you were taught. It's malleable, responsive to consciousness. When you're fully present, aligned with your authentic expression, engaged in resonant activity, time expands. You accomplish more with less effort. Opportunities synchronize perfectly. Everything flows. When you're distracted, misaligned, forcing actions from obligation rather than inspiration, time contracts. You stay busy but accomplish nothing meaningful. You're exhausted but can't identify what you actually did. This reveals something crucial. Time doesn't manage you. You manage time through your relationship with presence. The more present you become, the more time serves you. The more fragmented your attention, the more time controls you. Linear time exists as a convenient structure for coordinating collective activity. But consciousness doesn't experience time linearly. It experiences time as a field where all moments exist simultaneously. Past, present, future, all accessible now. When you raise your frequency high enough, you start experiencing this directly. Memories from childhood suddenly heal without therapy. Simply by holding higher frequency now, you retroactively change your relationship to what happened then. Events you've been anticipating with anxiety suddenly shift. The feared outcome never manifests. A completely different timeline emerges. You didn't change the future. You changed which version of the future you're moving toward. This is timeline work, and it happens automatically as your frequency stabilizes at higher levels. You don't need complex techniques. You need consistent alignment. When you maintain elevated states of love, peace, gratitude, and clarity, you naturally inhabit timelines where those qualities are reflected back to you through circumstances and experiences. When you drop into fear, anger, resentment, and confusion, you experience timelines where those frequencies dominate, not as punishment, as perfect mirroring. Reality showing you what you're broadcasting so you can choose consciously. Most people remain unconscious of this mechanism. They think reality is happening to them. They're victims of circumstance. They have no control. This belief keeps them locked in repetitive patterns. Same problems with different faces. Same lessons in different contexts. The wheel keeps turning, but they never progress. You're breaking that cycle. By understanding that you select timelines through frequency, you reclaim creative authority. You stop reacting to circumstances and start generating them. You shift from effect to cause, from subject to sovereign. This doesn't mean you control every detail. It means you set the frequency tone, and reality organizes details to match that tone. You can't micromanage the universe. You can broadcast a clear signal and trust intelligence beyond your limited perspective to handle the infinite variables. Think of it like ordering from a cosmic menu. You don't need to know how the kitchen prepares your meal. You don't need to instruct the chef on every technique. You simply place your order clearly, then trust the delivery. Trying to control the process creates resistance. Trusting the process allows flow. Where most people fail is they place their order, their desire, their intention, then immediately start broadcasting doubt, fear, impatience. This creates mixed signals. Static. The universe receives conflicting instructions and delivers confusing results. Then they blame the universe for not responding, when actually they kept changing the order. Clarity requires commitment. When you decide on a frequency, a timeline, an expression of reality, you must hold that frequency consistently. Not perfectly, consistently. When you drift into doubt, notice it and return to your chosen frequency. When external circumstances trigger fear, observe it without feeding it and return to trust. When others project their limitations onto your possibility, bless them and return to your knowing. This is mastery, not never falling, always returning, not perfection. Persistence, not eliminating all doubt. Choosing faith more often than fear. The momentum builds gradually. Each time you return to alignment, the path back becomes easier. Each time you choose your truth over external opinion, your inner authority strengthens. Eventually, your natural state becomes the elevated frequency. It no longer requires effort to maintain. It requires effort to drop out of it. This is the shift from seeking to being, from practicing states to embodying them, from becoming to being. People around you will notice something different. They won't necessarily understand what. You'll feel lighter, more present, less reactive, more magnetic. Circumstances will start flowing more easily, solutions appearing more readily, synchronicities multiplying more frequently. This isn't luck, this is alignment. You've tuned your instrument to the frequency where your natural life wants to express itself. Some relationships will naturally complete during this process, not because anyone did anything wrong, simply because frequencies no longer match. You're playing a different song now. Some people will harmonize with it, others won't. This is natural, healthy, necessary. Trying to maintain relationships beyond their natural completion creates suffering for everyone involved. You lower your frequency trying to accommodate theirs. They feel judged by your elevated state even when you're not judging. It becomes uncomfortable for both. The kindest thing is allowing organic completion, honoring what was, releasing what's done, creating space for what's emerging. This applies to jobs, locations, habits, identities, beliefs. Everything that no longer serves your evolution will naturally fall away if you allow it. The temptation is to cling, to force continuity, to maintain familiar structures even when they've become constraints. Resist this temptation, trust the clearing. What leaves creates space for what's coming, and what's coming is always an upgrade when you're moving toward alignment. Something profound happens when you stop trying to fix your past and start creating your present. Most people spend enormous energy analyzing what went wrong, why they made certain choices, how their history shaped their limitations. This keeps them tethered to timelines they're trying to transcend. It reinforces the very patterns they want to release. Here's what changes everything. The past isn't fixed, it's fluid. Every moment you change your frequency, you change your relationship to everything that happened before this moment. Not by denying it, by recontextualizing it, by seeing it through expanded awareness instead of wounded perception. That traumatic event from childhood, from your current frequency, you can see it served your evolution, taught you resilience, activated compassion, cracked your heart open. This doesn't excuse what happened. It doesn't minimize the pain. It transforms the meaning, and meaning determines whether experiences empower or diminish you. When you heal your interpretation of the past itself shifts in your experiential reality. People who hurt you might suddenly apologize decades later. Situations that damaged you might reveal hidden gifts. Choices you regretted might show their perfection. This isn't magical thinking. This is quantum mechanics. You're collapsing different probability waves from your historical timeline. The moment you stop being a victim of your history stops victimizing you. It becomes the sacred curriculum that developed exactly the capacities you need for your current mission. Every challenge prepared you. Every loss opened you. Every betrayal taught you discernment. Every failure built resilience. Nothing was wasted. Everything was necessary. This realization is liberation. You don't need to heal every wound through conventional methods. You transcend them by elevating your frequency. From the higher perspective, wounds transform into wisdom. Pain becomes power. Scars become sacred marks of initiation. Does this mean you bypass feeling? Absolutely not. Feeling is essential. Processing is necessary. But you don't need to spend years revisiting the same wounds. Feel them fully when they surface, then release them completely. Don't make an identity from your healing journey. Don't build a personality around your trauma. That keeps you locked in the frequency that created those experiences. Move through, not around. Through the feeling, through the lesson, through the integration, and out the other side. Don't set up camp in your pain. Visit it, honor it, learn from it, then leave it behind. This brings us to energy sovereignty, perhaps the most crucial skill for navigating these times. You are a broadcasting station, constantly emitting frequency. Most people broadcast unconsciously. They're reactive. Someone treats them poorly, they broadcast anger. They see disturbing news, they broadcast fear. They encounter challenges, they broadcast stress. This makes them a pinball, bouncing between external triggers, never stable, never centered, never sovereign. Their energy determined entirely by what's happening around them. This is exhausting, and it's unnecessary. Sovereignty means your internal state is self-generated, not determined by circumstances, not dependent on how people treat you, not reactive to external chaos. You choose your frequency regardless of conditions. This is power, real power, not control over others, mastery over yourself. When you achieve sovereignty, something remarkable happens. Your presence changes environments instead of environments changing you. You walk into tense situations and people relax. You encounter chaos and it naturally organizes. You meet resistance and it softens. Not because you're doing anything, because your stable high frequency creates a field effect. Others entrain to your energy like tuning forks, resonating in sympathy. This is how you serve, not by fixing people, not by teaching lessons, simply by being so anchored in your truth, so established in your frequency, that your mere presence reminds others of their own potential. You become a living example, a walking permission slip, proof that another way of being exists. But sovereignty requires boundaries, fierce ones. You cannot allow every energy into your field. You cannot give your attention to every request. You cannot say yes to everyone and maintain your frequency. This might disappoint people. That's acceptable. Their disappointment is not your emergency. Learning to say no without guilt is advanced spiritual practice. Not no from judgment. Not no from superiority. Simply no from clarity about where your energy belongs. Every yes to something misaligned is a no to something resonant. Every time you betray your truth to please others, you weaken your frequency. Every moment you compromise your integrity for acceptance, you lose power. Stop that. Your primary commitment must be to your alignment. When you're fully aligned, you have surplus energy to give generously. When you're depleted from tolerating misalignment, you have nothing genuine to offer. Protect your frequency first, then share from overflow, not from depletion. This isn't selfish, it's sustainable. Martyrdom doesn't serve anyone. Burnout doesn't create change. Sacrificing yourself doesn't heal the world. You cannot pour from an empty vessel. Fill yourself first, then give from abundance. This is wisdom, not selfishness. As you stabilize in sovereignty, your purpose begins revealing itself, not through dramatic revelations necessarily, often through subtle knowing, a pull towards certain activities, a natural interest in specific topics, an organic expression wanting to emerge. This is your soul's intention becoming conscious. Many people make purpose too complicated. They think it requires a grand mission, a clear calling, a specific role with defined parameters. Sometimes yes, often no. For many, purpose is simply being yourself fully, expressing your authentic nature, sharing your unique frequency, living your truth. That's enough. More than enough. Your existence at high frequency serves the collective whether anyone knows your name or not. You don't need a platform. You don't need recognition. You don't need thousands of followers. You need only to maintain your alignment and allow life to flow through you naturally. How that expresses itself will be unique to you. Some are called to visible service, teaching, creating, leading. Others serve through invisible presence, holding space, maintaining frequency, anchoring light in ordinary circumstances. Both are essential. Both are valuable. Neither is superior. Your ego might prefer visible recognition. Your soul doesn't care. It simply wants expression. However that occurs is perfect. The trap is comparing your path to others, measuring your progress against external standards, judging your purpose by worldly metrics. This kills authenticity, creates performance, generates pressure. Your path is yours alone. No one else can walk it. No one else can judge it. Only you know if you're in alignment or out of it. Trust your internal compass completely. It never lies. It might feel uncomfortable when you're growing. It might create dissonance when you're misaligned, but it never deceives. Your body knows truth. Your heart recognizes resonance. Your gut senses danger. Listen to these inner intelligence systems more than external authorities. You've been conditioned to distrust yourself, to seek validation externally, to need experts to confirm your knowing. This conditioning must be undone. You are the expert on you. No one understands your path better than you. No one can feel your frequency. No one has access to your inner guidance. Reclaim your authority. Trust yourself completely. This doesn't mean ignoring all input. It means filtering everything through your internal knowing. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. No teaching, no matter how revered, is more true than your direct experience. No authority, no matter how credible, knows your path better than your soul. Stay open to learning. Stay sovereign in discernment. As sovereignty deepens, you begin to notice your impact. Small interactions create significant shifts. Brief conversations plant seeds that blossom later. Momentary connections spark awakenings in others. You're not trying to impact anyone. You're simply being yourself. But your frequency does the work. It transmits without words, activates without effort, awakens without teaching. This is the crystalline frequency in action. It doesn't convince, it doesn't argue, it doesn't prove, it simply is. And that beingness carries such clarity, such power, such truth, that it bypasses intellectual defenses and speaks directly to the soul. Those ready to hear will hear, those not ready won't. Neither response requires your management. Your only job is maintaining your frequency and following your guidance. The universe handles everything else. It orchestrates meetings, arranges synchronicities, delivers opportunities, places you exactly where your presence serves. You don't need to figure it all out. You need to stay tuned to your station and trust the broadcast reaches exactly who needs to receive it. This level of trust doesn't develop overnight. It builds gradually through consistent experience. Each time you trust your guidance and it proves reliable, trust deepens. Each time you maintain your frequency despite external chaos and things work out, confidence grows. Each time you release control and allow flow, faith strengthens. Eventually, trust becomes your default. You no longer need proof before acting. You follow the pull before understanding the reason. You say yes to opportunities before knowing the outcome. This is living from higher consciousness, allowing your future self to guide your current self. Collapsing time through trust. Most people let their past dictate their future. Past failures predict future outcomes. Past wounds create future defenses. Past limitations define future possibilities. This keeps them locked in repetitive cycles. The same lessons, the same patterns, the same limitations wearing different masks. You're breaking that cycle by disconnecting from past-based identity and connecting to frequency-based becoming. Your past no longer defines you. Your frequency does, and frequency can shift in an instant, which means your entire trajectory can pivot in a moment. One choice, one realization, one elevation in awareness. Everything changes. This is why there's such emphasis on the present moment, not as spiritual bypassing, as practical mechanics. The only moment you can choose your frequency is now. The only moment you can shift timelines is now. The only moment you can create differently is now. Past is memory, future is projection, now is power. When you anchor fully in now, selecting your frequency consciously, maintaining alignment deliberately, you become unstoppable, not aggressive, unshakable, not forceful, immovable in your truth, not rigid, flexible in form but committed in essence. This is mastery, operating from center regardless of external circumstances, trusting your path completely, knowing yourself deeply, being yourself fully. There comes a moment in every awakening journey when you realize you're not alone in this, that the isolation you felt was illusion, that millions of souls are simultaneously undergoing similar transformations, that an invisible network of awakened consciousness spans the planet, all holding frequency, all anchoring light, all participating in the greatest shift humanity has ever experienced. This recognition changes everything. The burden you thought was yours alone distributes across the collective. The mission you thought you had to complete individually becomes collaborative. The path you thought you walked solo reveals itself as shared by countless others. You find your tribe, your soul family, those who speak your language even when no words are spoken. How do you recognize them? Not through superficial similarities, not through shared interests or common beliefs, through resonance, an unmistakable energetic signature that says, I know you, even when you've just met. A feeling of coming home to yourself in their presence, a sense that you've walked together before and will again. These connections serve specific purposes. Some arrive to activate something dormant within you, a memory, a capacity, a knowing you forgot. Others come to receive activation from you, an energetic transmission that sparks their next evolution. Still others travel alongside you for extended periods, companions on the journey, mirrors reflecting your growth, support during challenging initiations. Not all soul family connections last forever in linear time. Some are brief but profound, a chance meeting that changes your trajectory, a short conversation that delivers exactly the message you needed, a temporary collaboration that completes a specific project. When their purpose fulfills, they naturally flow onward. This isn't abandonment, it's divine choreography. Release attachment to form, honor the essence. Some people are meant to be in your life for a season, others for a reason, few for a lifetime. All are perfect, all are purposeful, all serve your evolution and theirs. Trying to force continuity beyond natural completion creates suffering. Allowing organic flow creates grace. As you connect with more soul family members, you begin to sense something larger at play. You're not random individuals having similar experiences. You're nodes in a conscious grid, a living network of light spanning the entire planet. Each person holding their unique frequency, each location anchored by aware presence, all interconnected through shared intention to elevate collective consciousness. This grid has been building for decades, slowly at first, then accelerating. Now it's reaching critical mass, the moment when enough nodes activate that the entire grid comes online. When that happens, and it's happening now, the frequency shift becomes irreversible. The tipping point crosses. The new Earth stabilizes as the dominant reality. You're part of this whether you realize it or not. Every time you choose love, you strengthen the grid. Every moment you maintain high frequency despite challenges, you anchor light deeper. Every instance you trust your guidance and follow your truth, you show others it's possible. Your individual choices have collective impact. Your personal alignment serves global awakening. This is why your healing matters so much, why your growth is essential, why your consistency is crucial. You're not just healing yourself, you're healing your entire lineage, past ancestors, future descendants, parallel expressions. Every version of you across all timelines benefits when you elevate. And every being connected to those versions receives the ripple. One person healing completely heals thousands indirectly. One person awakening fully sparks hundreds of secondary awakenings. One person anchoring crystalline frequency shifts the entire field slightly toward higher expression. You are not separate. You are not insignificant. You are a vital thread in the tapestry of conscious evolution. The guide beings many call Arcturians, though they have many names across cultures, are not separate entities commanding from above. They're future versions of collective consciousness. They've walked this path, completed this evolution, transcended the limitations you're currently transcending. They exist in dimensional frequencies where fear has no power, where love is the organizing principle, where unity replaces separation. They reach back through time to remind you what's possible, to show you where this path leads, to encourage you when doubt creeps in. Their transmissions aren't meant to create dependency. They're designed to activate your own direct connection to Source, to remind you that you have access to the same wisdom, the same guidance, the same truth. You don't need intermediaries. You are Source expressing itself in temporary form. You have direct access to infinite intelligence. The guidance you seek exists within you. The wisdom you desire lives in your cells. The knowing you crave pulses in your heart. Turn inward, listen deeply, trust completely. Everything you need is already within you. The external guides serve as training wheels, helpful while you're learning to trust your inner authority. But eventually, you must ride on your own. Trust your direct experience. Follow your unmediated guidance. Stand in your sovereign truth. This doesn't mean rejecting all external input. It means filtering everything through your inner knowing, taking what resonates, leaving what doesn't, being your own ultimate authority. This level of spiritual maturity can feel lonely at first, when you no longer fit neatly into any group, when you've outgrown teachers but aren't called to teach, when you understand both sides of every argument so deeply that you can't take polarized positions. You're between worlds, too awakened for mainstream, too grounded for fringe. This is the initiatory stage called the void, the space between who you were and who you're becoming, between old paradigm and new, between seeking and being. It's uncomfortable because humans crave belonging, identity, category. The void offers none of that, just raw potential, pure becoming, undefined possibility. Stay in the void. Don't rush to fill it with new identity structures. Don't grasp for new groups to belong to. Don't create new categories to feel safe within. Allow the emptiness. Let the uncertainty teach you. Discover what remains when all external definitions fall away. That's your essence. That's your truth. That's what you're building from. What remains when everything else dissolves? Awareness, presence, the witnessing consciousness that observes all experience without being defined by any of it. You are that, not your thoughts, not your emotions, not your body, not your history, not your personality, not your roles. The awareness that perceives all of that. Infinite, eternal, unchanging. When you realize yourself as awareness, everything else becomes play. The personality is a character you're temporarily inhabiting. The life circumstances are a game you're exploring. The challenges are levels you're mastering. None of it is ultimately real. All of it is experiential curriculum, perfectly designed for your evolution. This doesn't minimize the human experience. It contextualizes it. You're having a genuine human journey, feeling real emotions, facing actual challenges. The human experience matters, and simultaneously, from expanded perspective, it's a temporary adventure, a fascinating exploration, an opportunity to experience limitation, transcend it, and remember your infinite nature through the contrast, holding both perspectives simultaneously, human and divine, limited and infinite, personal and universal. This is embodied mastery. You don't bypass the human by escaping into spiritual concepts. You don't get lost in the human by forgetting your divine nature. You integrate both, honoring the temporary form while remembering your eternal essence. This integration is what many call the crystalline frequency. It's not leaving Earth, it's bringing heaven to Earth, not transcending the physical, infusing it with spirit, not escaping the human experience, elevating it to its highest potential. This is where limitation and limitlessness dance together, where form and formless merge, where earth and heaven meet. You are the meeting point, the bridge, the integration. Your body is the sacred vessel, allowing infinite consciousness to experience physical reality. Your life is the canvas, where spirit paints its unique expression. Your choices are the brushstrokes creating a masterpiece. Nothing is random. Everything is purposeful. All of it matters. The new earth isn't a place you go. It's a frequency you embody. It exists right here, right now, overlaying the old paradigm. As you elevate your frequency, you shift into it, not leaving the physical planet, experiencing a different dimension of it, where the same locations feel completely different. The same people show up transformed. The same circumstances resolve with ease. Two people standing in the same place can have completely different experiences based on frequency. One sees chaos and feels fear. Another sees transformation and feels excitement. Same external reality, different internal frequency, different experiential outcome. Reality is not objective, it's frequency specific. You experience the version that matches your vibration. This is why trying to change external circumstances while maintaining the same frequency rarely works. You might temporarily shift things, but they'll return to match your dominant vibration. Lasting change requires frequency adjustment first, then circumstances naturally reorganize to match your new frequency. Effortlessly, organically, inevitably. Stop fighting reality. Start selecting it. Stop forcing change. Start embodying the frequency where desired change is natural. Stop struggling upstream. Start aligning with your current and letting it carry you exactly where you're meant to go. This is flow. This is trust. This is mastery. Everything you've experienced, every challenge you faced, every moment you felt alone in your awareness, it all led here to this realization. You are not damaged. You're not broken. You're not behind. You're exactly where you're meant to be, right on schedule for an awakening that will ripple through dimensions you can't yet perceive. The feelings of not fitting in weren't signs something was wrong with you. They were signals you were designed for something beyond the consensus reality. The sensitivity you thought was weakness was actually your greatest strength. The ability to perceive what others miss, to feel what others ignore, to sense the invisible architecture of energy organizing visible experience. You volunteered for this mission before you took physical form. You understood the challenges waiting in dense, three-dimensional reality. You knew there would be periods of profound forgetting, moments where you'd question your sanity, phases where isolation felt unbearable, and you said yes anyway, because you're one of the experienced souls, the specialists, the ones who've done this work before in other systems, other civilizations, other dimensions. Earth called for the most skilled consciousness navigators, and you answered, not because you're special in a hierarchical sense, because you're capable, trained, prepared. You have gifts earned through countless experiences across infinite expressions. Now you're applying those gifts here, anchoring elevated frequencies in a reality that desperately needs them. Every person you've struggled to connect with taught you something essential. Every job that felt meaningless helped you discover what truly matters. Every relationship that ended created space for something more aligned. Every failure revealed a path toward authentic success. Every loss opened your heart wider. Nothing was wasted. Everything served your becoming. Now you stand at a threshold. Behind you lies the identity you've been dismantling, the person you thought you had to be, the life you thought you had to live. Ahead lies unknown territory, undefined potential, the opportunity to create from pure alignment rather than inherited programming. This is simultaneously terrifying and exhilarating. The fear is normal. The personality doesn't like uncertainty. It wants guarantees, proof, evidence before action. But spiritual evolution requires leaping before the net appears, choosing the elevated frequency before circumstances confirm it's safe, trusting the guidance even when logic argues against it. This is faith, not religious faith, practical faith. Faith earned through consistent experience that the universe supports your alignment. Every time you've trusted your inner knowing and followed it despite external opposition, things worked out. Maybe not immediately, maybe not how you expected, but ultimately, alignment leads to outcomes more perfect than you could have orchestrated. This track record builds the foundation for bigger leaps, deeper trust, more radical following of your truth. What's your next leap? You already know. That thing you've been feeling pulled toward but talking yourself out of. That change you know you need to make but keep postponing. That truth you need to speak but keep silencing. That dream you keep dismissing as unrealistic. That is your guidance. That is your soul calling you forward. That is the crystalline frequency inviting you into the next expression of your becoming. What stops you? Usually fear disguised as reason. I can't because of money, because of family, because of timing, because of lack of knowledge, because of past failures, because of others' opinions. All valid concerns to the personality, all irrelevant to the soul. The soul doesn't move in straight lines. It doesn't require perfect circumstances. It creates the path by walking it. It generates resources through alignment. It proves possibility through action. You will never feel completely ready. You will never have all the answers. You will never eliminate all risk. Waiting for those conditions is waiting forever. The time is now. The preparation is sufficient. The support is available. You just have to begin. One step, then another, then another. Building momentum through movement, not planning. The crystalline frequency doesn't demand perfection. It invites authenticity. It doesn't require you to have everything figured out. It asks you to trust the unfolding. It doesn't punish mistakes. It uses everything as feedback for refinement. You can't get this wrong. You can only participate or hesitate, and hesitation is just delayed participation. So why wait? Your presence at this elevated frequency serves the collective in ways you can't fully comprehend. Every moment you maintain love when fear would be easier, you stabilize the grid. Every instant you choose trust when doubt seems reasonable, you anchor light deeper. Every time you act from your truth despite external pressure, you show others it's possible. Your courage gives others permission. Your authenticity invites others into theirs. This is how the new earth builds, not through massive external revolutions, through millions of internal evolutions. Each person choosing slightly differently, responding slightly more consciously, living slightly more authentically. All those slight shifts compound into massive collective transformation. You are part of that. Your choices matter. Your frequency contributes. your evolution serves. So what now? How do you stabilize in this understanding and live from it consistently? Through practice, not complicated techniques, simple moment-to-moment choices. Each time you feel yourself dropping into fear, pause, take 3 deep breaths, return to your heart, choose love, not as spiritual bypassing, as frequency selection. Fear broadcasts one signal, love broadcasts another. Which do you want to amplify? Each time you notice yourself reacting automatically to external triggers, pause, create space between stimulus and response. In that space, your power lives, the power to choose consciously instead of react unconsciously, to respond from center instead of trigger from wound. This is mastery, not never getting triggered, always returning to choice. Each time you hear your inner guidance and ignore it, notice that. What stopped you? What fear arose? What story did you believe? Observe without judgment, learn without punishment, adjust without self-attack. Then next time that guidance comes, follow it slightly more than before. Build the trust muscle gradually, small follows before big leaps. Each time you're tempted to dim your light to make others comfortable, resist. Your dimming doesn't serve them. It deprives them of inspiration, of permission, of living proof that elevation is possible. Shine fully, not arrogantly, authentically. Let your genuine joy, your natural enthusiasm, your real excitement be visible. This gives others hope, shows them pathways, activates their own potential. As you practice these micro adjustments consistently, your baseline frequency rises. What once required effort becomes natural. What felt like reaching becomes resting. You stabilize in states you used to visit briefly. This is embodiment, not peak experiences you can't sustain, elevated frequency you naturally inhabit, new normal, higher set point, crystalline consciousness as home base instead of rare exception. From this stabilized elevation, your purpose expresses itself effortlessly. You don't have to figure out what you're meant to do. It flows through you naturally. Opportunities appear, resources arrive, people gather, circumstances align, not because you manipulated anything, because you created space for your authentic expression by removing all the false layers obscuring it. Your purpose is not something separate from you that you have to find. It's the natural overflow of your being. When you're fully yourself, aligned with your truth, connected to your essence, your purpose happens automatically. It's not a doing. It's a being that creates doing as a side effect. You become the gift. Your presence becomes the offering. Your frequency becomes the transmission. This might look like teaching, or healing, or creating, or building, or serving, or simply being the conscious presence in your everyday environments. There's no hierarchy. No expression is superior. Visible platform or invisible presence, both are essential. Both serve the collective awakening. Trust what wants to emerge through you. Follow what brings you alive. That is your compass. That is your confirmation. That is your path. Before we close, take a moment. Place your hand on your heart. Feel it beating. Each pulse is consciousness choosing physical expression. Each breath is source energy animating form. You are a walking miracle, a temporary individualization of infinite awareness, here to experience limitation and transcend it, here to forget your nature and remember it, here to play the game of separation and discover unity. You're doing beautifully, even when it doesn't feel like it, even when you doubt, even when you stumble. The fact that you're here, engaging with this frequency, proves you're exactly where you need to be. No accidents, no coincidences. Perfect orchestration by an intelligence that loves you beyond measure. If you're ready to deepen into this understanding, to accelerate your embodiment, to connect with others walking this path, then join this community. Subscribe not just to receive content, but to stay connected to this frequency, to remain in resonance with others anchoring the new earth, to participate in collective field building. Each person who gathers in conscious intention amplifies the power of the entire group. We're stronger together than separate. Leave a comment below sharing one insight that landed most powerfully for you, or one question that's arising, or simply one word that captures your current frequency. This isn't performative engagement. This is conscious field weaving. When we witness each other's journeys, acknowledge each other's growth, reflect each other's truth, we create resonance, we build momentum, we strengthen the crystalline grid connecting us all. Share this transmission with someone ready to receive it. You know who they are. That person who keeps showing up in your awareness. That friend who's been asking questions. That family member who's showing signs of awakening. Your share might be the catalyst they need, the permission they're waiting for, the confirmation their soul is seeking. Don't underestimate the power of perfect timing. When guidance says, share, trust that. The crystalline timeline is not future, it's present. Not there, here, not them. You are the one you've been waiting for. You are the change you want to see. You are the frequency anchoring new earth. Not someday. Today. Not when you're more ready. Now. Exactly as you are. Not after more healing. During the healing. Through the healing. Because of the healing. You are enough. You've always been enough. You will always be enough. The journey isn't about becoming worthy. It's about recognizing the worthiness you've always carried, about removing the layers of unworthiness you learned, about returning to the truth that existed before the lies, before the programming, before the forgetting. Welcome home to yourself. Welcome to the frequency you've always been searching for, that's been within you all along. Welcome to the crystalline consciousness that is your true nature. Welcome to the community of souls remembering together. Welcome to the new earth that's birthing through your choices, your frequency, your presence. You are the bridge between worlds, the light in the darkness, the hope in the chaos, the proof that elevation is possible. Thank you for being here. Thank you for staying true. Thank you for choosing consciousness over comfort. Thank you for being you, fully, authentically, courageously. Now go live it, embody it, be it. The world is waiting for your unique expression. Your soul is ready for this next chapter. The crystalline timeline is activated, and you are standing at the center of your own becoming. What happens next is entirely up to you. Choose consciously, choose courageously, choose you. Always choose you. That's how we change everything.